Welcome to Threads of Enlightenment. My name is Ken Primus. I am your host. In this episode, we're going to take a look at how to begin using your gift. In the last episode, we talked about first finding your gift and how it's very important that it is one of our assignments once we are here on this planet to find our gift and then to begin to use our gift. I know it sounds pretty simple, how to begin using your gift, something like that. But there's a lot of people that find it difficult to move from the place once they've located their gift and then to begin using a gift. They become in somewhat, you can say they become paralyzed in their approach, or just paralyzed because of overthinking. They're paralyzed because of fear, which basically is the case. And they're paralyzed because it makes you vulnerable to step outside once you begin to find out who you are and how what your gift is. Why is that? Because a lot of people will not understand you doing what you're about to do, or you feel in your heart that you need to do, and that's their problem. To be honest, it's not your problem, because each and every one of us have our own gift, and it is our responsibility to find that. Some of us are guided through by teachers and other people and so forth, but each and every one of us is born with some type of gift, and it really truly is our responsibility to find that. So once you have located your gift, and in the last episode I told you that one of the exercises that I would do with my children was just basically had them close their eyes and had them picture themselves the richest person on the planet. What would you do? And once you go past the things, buying of things and all of those different things, you'll find the core, because they'll come out and say, I would do this because I just love to do that. And so once you have been to that place, once you have visited, and you have now found your gift, so now how do you begin to use it? I remember Rade had said that our gift is not something that we actually use, but rather it's something that uses us. And I think that is so powerful in its statement, is that we become our actions, our desires, our how to begin to come from that place, and we become tools of that of our gift. And so, as she mentioned, it's not something that we use, but it's rather something that uses us. And that once we are beginning to move from that space, that from you walking through from a place of fear to a place of faith, where you're allowing your higher self to begin to guide you beyond your comfort zone, as they say. So I have this little thing that I say: living from your purpose will always make you purposeful. And so those are the times I would tell my kids is, once you find your purpose, be passionate about it, and to the place where it consumes you in causing you, meaning it causes you to take one step and another step and another step, while someone is saying to you, no, 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 no. And so you will always have those people that will always disagree with you. But who cares? To be honest, who really cares? I mean, they have Many of those people don't even know what their gifts are. They haven't started their journey or anything. They're just critical. And so they're critical of their life. And because they're critical of their life, they become critical of yours. And so we have a tendency to let people's opinion carry so much weight that it prevents us from living our true life and our destiny. And so we have to learn how to look at things differently. I know a good friend of mine, she always says perspective is everything, and we talked about that, and it's truly the key. Perspective is the key. And so you have to take away this power that we seem to just surrender to people, that we don't, they really don't have a handle on their life, and their opinion of us carries so much weight that it's causing us constantly to live in below our calling and our greatest life. And so we need to stop surrendering our life and our thoughts and our destiny to people who are not doing anything of theirs. Because if they were doing anything of their life and their purpose, they would have understood, and then they'll be able to support you. Because each and every one of us has a different gift that we are gifted with, that we are able to partake of. And how beautiful it is to see someone else doing theirs, and you have the ability to encourage them and say, hey, go for it, and you and that person can have a relationship and build a stronger relationship based on the fact that you both recognize each other pursuing their goals and their desires and so forth. But we do have a tendency to surrender or giving up versus pushing through, and because of people's opinion of us. And I think this is one of the main things that we have to overcome in beginning to use our gift. And as I said before, and I just love what Rade, the co-author of my book, of our book, Threads of Enlightenment, her take on it is that, it's not something that we use our gift, but it's rather something that uses us. And once we've come to a place where we are able to allow our gift to use us, think of the beauty that what you give to that other person that is receiving the other aspect of your gift, whatever it is. I mean, like I said, I believe that people are gifted in businesses, people are gifted in sports, music, people are gifted in so many different aspects of life. People are gifted in communications, people are gifted in little things, and I believe each and every one of those things that we are gifted in we are able to somehow learn to sustain ourselves, our families from that place. But we have to learn how to take this gift of ours, take a look at different industries, and see how you could put that into place. I was having a conversation with someone this morning about me. I know that one of my gifts that I have was basically insights in certain things, spiritual things that I've always had access to within myself. And how is that people will constantly come up to you and say this, say that, and would be pointing me towards the fact that I'm a good teacher. And so I couldn't for years, because of my children and my life, and life has a way of happening, divorce and all these other things, that I kind of put those things aside, and that I wasn't really pursuing it per se, but every day of my life, I was being used in that. People will come to me for advice here and there all through my life. I mean, every day of my life, basically, people would come to me with this problem, that problem, and so forth. So I was operating within my gift, but we tend to not really look at that as being a part of your gift. We expect to be in this, this arena with thousands of people and so forth. But my gift was being used on a daily basis to reach people, to help people to see things differently, to have a different perspective of how things are in their life and how to overcome where they are, And so in this conversation, I was talking to them about how the universe, I said that the universe rejoices when we operate from this place of destiny, because we're doing it from a place of love. You're not doing it from a place of judgment when you speak to that person, when you do your gift, when you operate from there. It's not from a place of judgment. It's not a place of anything else but a place of respect and love. And so it is important that you and I both find our gift, because every time someone came to me, as much as I was having a hard time or whatever, I would put that aside and look at that person's need, and then begin to flow in my gift by offering the advice from a different perspective, from what I've been looking at versus what they're looking at. And so it brought me joy for that split minute or a couple of minutes that I'm talking to these people, to see how their eyes change when they kind of see the advice and begin to take it and begin to operate it in their life and free them. And then it, but my point is that from that space, I was just focused on their needs. I pull my ego and all the other things aside so that I can minister, as they say, to this person's need and advice and so forth that they needed. You and I should try our very best to run straight into the arms of destiny, because it's a place that it's strength. There's a place of peace, and it's a place where you and I can be able to help one another, where we can love one another. And it's like, once you find your gift, I remember in the book I use an example of a baby walking, where you get up and baby takes a couple of steps, falls down, takes a couple of steps, falls down, but gets up, and so forth. And so people are going to constantly look at you and try to control your growth. As I mentioned earlier in the podcast, don't give it to them, man. You and I have a place where we just kind of surrender from time to time. And I look at my life, I look at other friends and people's life, and see how people's opinion of us have really played a part in preventing us from living our full life. And as I mentioned earlier, it's one of our responsibility to really, really put those people in places. Just think for a minute. If people through history had allow people's opinion of them to dictate what they did. A perfect example. Let's take a look at Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln ran for office so many times that he lost and all this kind of stuff. But imagine if he had listened to people, what a different place America would be today. You know, what about the founding fathers? When they got together to put this document together, the naysayers who had gathered and told them no, they can't do that, or they couldn't put it together, what a different place America would have been. Henry Ford, Benjamin Franklin, Jesse Owens, Muhammad Ali, all of these personalities, if they had listened to other people and not, step out and do and operate from their gift, what I can't even imagine what the world would be like had they stayed aside and not understand the principles that governs the aspects of like a baby getting up, falling, getting up, and not concerned about any other's opinion of you, but that baby's just focusing on getting up and walking, taking one step, taking another step, going until that baby is able to stand up and walk continually without falling. And so as you and I embark on this part of our life where we're finding our gift and then beginning to operate in it, mine is, as I said, is teaching, and I'm using the venue of podcasts to be able to operate and to do my gift. And sometimes it is difficult because of planning and certain things that happen within family and self and so forth. But my goal is never to give up, to keep stepping day by day by day by day. And as I've mentioned to you, that this podcast is that my goal is that whatever wisdoms that I've gained through the fire, as they say, I try to put it into these podcasts so that people that are going through the fire about learning all the aspects of yourself, becoming this better self, for you, number one, and then for your family and your friends and so forth as it expands out. But this particular process of finding your gift and utilizing your gift is very fulfilling. It is also it could be difficult, but just like the baby getting up to walk, it's difficult, but it's a new thing. The baby before that, the baby was crawling around all over the place, but like a baby, I'm using this baby as an example, is that each individual baby, when they are ready, you'll see them begin to make that next phase, the next step in their progress. And some babies will mature faster than others, but that baby will still get to where they're going, but it's a different rate, and so a different space. I remember my second son, Josiah, when he was born, he was a premature baby, and it took him a little longer to walk than his elder brother. And I remember the time when he was taking his steps, when he was beginning to take his first steps and so forth. And with some coaching from a very good friend of mine, he was able to take those steps and so forth. And I remember watching that whole situation. And so it's the same in our life. And sometimes it's, you may say, people may say God. Some people say the universe will bring that person in your life to help you to take the next step, whether it's a teacher, whether it's a coach, whether it's a friend, whether it's a family member, whatever, whoever. They will come and assist you now to begin to take those steps. And some people excel in sports, but this is just, these things are just, I don't even think that some of those are like your gift. I believe that some people are more talented in a particular sports and so forth, but you'll see even some of those sports guys that who are talented basketball players make a life through that, but their gift is something else. I could think of Wyman Tisdale was an excellent basketball player, and but his gift was music. He loved playing music. He's one of the best bass players I've ever heard, and I love his music. But he was a basketball player. He was talented, but his gift was that of music. In the arena of music, he was a bass player. And if you get a chance to listen to some excellent music from Wyman Tisdale, who is an excellent basketball player, whose love or gift was music. And so I wanted to use that as an example to show you that your profession, you may be talented in your profession, whatever that is. If it's marketing, if it's business, if it's teaching, whatever it is. But you could be talented as a teacher, but your gift could be something else. And so it really becomes personal, where you begin to look within yourself to get this answer. And, where you begin to look for your gift versus talent, because it's two different things. And I guarantee you that your gift is where you are supposed to be, where you give from, where you are reaching into someone else's life, someone else's energy, and you're giving and relating to that person from there. And there's this joy, there's something else deeper that at a spiritual level, that when you're giving and operating from that place is different from that of your talent. And so our goal at this podcast is to help you to think a little, to expand your thoughts, expand your perspective, to see where you're at, and what you need to do to change. I'm just giving you little nuggets here and there for you to begin to ask yourself questions. Why am I here? Or what of this? What of that? And begin to ask, what is something that I love to do versus my profession? Where's my place in the growth of mankind? It's not just your growth, it's the growth of mankind. And I think because many of us are not spending the time to learn to stretch ourselves, to begin to find out who we are as individuals, but also in the collective of mankind, to help mankind grow from one degree of development to another. And we take a look at what's happening today out in the world, and it could, if you look at it, it could be a very dark, sad place. But I think if you look at it through different perspective, it can be a place of opportunity, a place of growth, a place where we can come together and share wisdom, a place where we could come together and share insights. So even though I believe around us is darkness, there is still much to be done if you just change your perspective and begin to learn to find your purpose, and so that you can become purposeful in your living, purposeful in your giving to people, purposeful finding this destiny, finding this gift that you and I have, that I believe that each and every one of us have as living beings on this planet. And the human spirit, how we are designed, the human spirit is always seeking for more. It's not satisfied with money, because if the human spirit was satisfied with money, you wouldn't have millionaires and billionaires committing suicide. So it must be something else. It's poverty is not the answer, or you wouldn't have so many people trying to get out of it. So money is not the answer, because you wouldn't see so many people lives are being destroyed by it, because they pursue it, they become blind. And money is not, again, our success is not a gift. People spend most of their life chasing stuff, what we call success, and miss the entire purpose for them living. And, so we need to rethink. I think society needs to rethink the purpose of why we're here. So we know that poverty is not the answer. We know that wealth is not the answer. And so we know that there's Paul said to one of the disciples, one of the apostles actually, he said that we ought to learn how to be, to be in all things. The statement, he says that we need to learn how to be present and in all things, and appreciate all things. And there's some wisdom to that, where you and I need to find out to be satisfied, but to keep moving and keep pushing to where we need to be. I'm talking about pushing from the inside, not pushing to attain things, but pushing yourself, pushing to the next level, pushing as the baby walks, begins to push through fear, to push through doubt, to push through all these other things that people would say, you're crazy. Abraham Lincoln pushed through, and America is a different place. You have Henry Ford, he pushed through, and the world is a different place. You have Abraham, you have Benjamin Franklin, he pushed through, and the world is a different place. You have all of these people that push through. And so you and I, we have to learn how to push through people's opinion of us, push through fear, and walk into that next place where it's unfamiliar, but the belief is strong within yourself that the next step is heading to where you want to be. The next step is getting to that place where another set of people are going to be there and said you're crazy. But that next step is there, and at each step you're going to meet people that will continue to say to you, you're nuts, what's wrong with you? But you cannot allow their opinion, and take a look at their life and see they haven't really gone and done anything with their life. They may have gotten some money and all that kind of stuff, but they're horribly depressed. They're horribly mentally sick. You name it, look at them. And you'll see for yourself. Don't let them tell you what you can do. You're trying to do something different. You're trying to go to a different place than where they don't ever want to be, or haven't gotten the strength or the insight to even start. And so don't allow them to dictate where you're going. So get to where you want to be and have them look at you and go, and be jealous of when you get there. And so, if you want to live, folks, you have to find your gift and then begin to move towards that, because there's life in there. There's something different, that people get. There's an energy there. Once you know what you want to do, simply learn how to do it, and then go ahead and do it. As Nike says, just do it. Put in the work. Put in the work. When the baby starts to learn to walk, the baby puts in the work. And so you and I need to start putting in the work. The baby will get up and fall, and then you'll see the baby sit there for a little while. And but that baby did not give up. A baby will be up again, and then one day, if you're not really paying attention, your baby is walking back and forth to you, and it hits you that this baby walked. So that's the same thing is going to happen to you, is that as you get up and you move, one day some of those friends or those people will look around and realize that you did what you said you were going to do, and so but once you begin to find your gift, like I said, it's a little different than your talent. I don't know what that is, I wish I knew that I could say here, there, or whatever, but it is your responsibility to go and find it. Look at your talent is different from your gift. As I mentioned, I just used Women Tisdale, great basketball player, one of the best jazz musicians out there, one of the best jazz players, bass players. And he mentioned that. I remember him talking about that. He was a talented basketball player, but his gift was that of music and playing and producing music as a bass player. So I hope that this particular podcast has prompted something in you to begin to say, you know what, I want to do something different. I want to find what that is. I want to find what Ken was talking about. I'm curious. Let me put some thoughts. Let me begin to take a little deeper look at my life. Let me begin to put in the work as the baby does. Let me put in the energy to go past the naysayers. Let me put in the energy to go past fear. Let me put the work to get past the disappointments and all of that stuff. But that's what I'm trying to tell you about that baby. I'm using the baby as an example. The disappointment of that baby, but that baby sits there, and he's at it again. And so don't be fearful and not move, but come back tomorrow, come back 5 minutes later, come back, pick up yourself, and what you're looking to do is get the faith within yourself about yourself. And so take your faith within yourself about yourself and begin to stand up and begin to take those steps one at a time, one at a time. And a couple of months from now, you'll be in a different place, and people will recognize it. But most importantly, you will recognize it. And so you will be able to begin to recognize your gift, which is different from your talent, and you begin to live from that space and begin to be effective for yourself, for your family, for your friends, and for the world. And so, again, it is my hope that you begin to take this journey and using your gift. And usually the things that will prevent you from using your gift is usually fear, and and what people think about you and all that type of stuff. And we've gone past that now, where we need to now begin to stretch ourselves a little further, stretch our belief a little further, stretch it to the place that you begin to take your first step. And once you take your first step, you will be on your way. Until next time, this is Ken Primus at Threads of Enlightenment. Thank you.